Now, Sports Talk with Brodes. Here's Hunter Brody.
What is going on, everyone? Welcome on into Sports Talk with Brodes. The Flyers lose 3-2 in a shootout to the New York Rangers, and I'm honestly not that pissed off about it. There are things that make me uncomfortable and they disappoint me, but we have to realize that you don't have Claude Giroux, you don't have Travis Konechny, Scott Laughton, Justin Braun, even though he stinks, but I'm just bringing up the fact that you're missing a lot of players. Jake Voracek, when you are out guys who play and log in a ton of minutes, you are going to be screwed. You are going to be, maybe screwed is a hard word or a harsh word, I should say, but you're going to be at a disadvantage, and I think that's exactly what you saw. Even though the New York Rangers are not some fantastic team, they suck. Let's be realistic. Let's look at it objectively here. The New York Rangers are an embarrassment at the moment, and they are extremely underwhelming. Considering how they ended the season last year, they are not in the same category anymore. Zibanejad's not having the same type of season. He was outrageous. Lafreniere, you get the first overall pick. It's not as if he has become a stud instantly right from the jump, but that's not to write him off. But you probably anticipated him being more of an impact guy. It's clear and obvious that the Rangers are in a dysfunctional place at the moment, and they need to try and get back on track. And, well, they did against the Flyers team that is significantly undermanned. I guess we should have been realistic and known that this was probably going to be the outcome. Although, 1 minute into this game, the Flyers were red hot. This aube-kubel line with Raffl, they were buzzing, specifically early, 1 minute into the game. It's muck and grind time. They're getting right into the blue paint, and they're making sure they're earning every single inch. And before you know it, the Flyers are out to a 1-0 lead. I love that because it showed intensity. It showed will. It's like, yo, fellas, we haven't played in, 8,000 years. Right from puck drop, they were on fire. Just great energy, great buzz, and that satisfied me. Carter Hart made some great saves. Aube-Kubel had another great shot. It was high slot area. He put it right into the breadbasket, and you did see his reaction afterwards. He leaned on his knees with the stick and gave like the damn type of facial expression and body language, if you will. Yeah, he had a good chance. Raffl had a good chance. They had this set play where you dump it into the offensive zone and banks off the boards, and you send Raffl full speed. And there he was, who had a really great scoring chance, but couldn't get it to hit the twine. So the Flyers had some chances. They had some power play chances in the first period to make the lead bigger, to give them more of a cushion. But you know how this power play operates. It doesn't operate. And I'm so bothered by that. They had way too many power plays, and they weren't able to execute. I am fully aware that their top players who normally do play power play minutes were not available. But let's look at their lineup and some of the guys that can score. All right, it's not ridiculous to think any one of these players can do damage on the power play. JVR, Kevin Hayes, Joel Farbaee, Sean Couturier, Ivan Provorov. If you had a full line on the power play of some bums, then I would say you're right. You can't expect them to go out there and score, but that wasn't the case. And even if you're a guy that's not technically or quote a power play guy, if you get a chance, prove it. Show your coach. Being a non-power play guy, when you do get thrown on the peeper, there's this fun sense of urgency and this dedication and this motivation to show, hey, coach, maybe you should think about me. Maybe when you're writing on the whiteboard during the week of practice, you slide my number into that rotating power play spot. Because I showed you in a game that I had some great playmaking, that I made some nice passes, that I do make good decisions, that I take the shot at the right times. I don't know. I look at it from an opportunity standpoint. Show AV that you got something in the tank if you're normally not a power play guy. No one's going to complain if they get slipped into the power play spot after scoring a goal or getting a point, right? So that's not an excuse for me. Looking at what was out there on the ice for the power play perspective, that is not an excuse for me. Now, the Flyers ended up getting two guys in the box in one play. Robert Haig and, what was it, another fourth liner, Andreoff. And they ended up, it should have been, realistically, it should have been 3 guys in the box in one situation. They missed a high stick, the refs did. Crazy to think they missed something, considering they blew the damn whistle every single time there was a ticky-tack nonsense going on. I thought there were way too many power plays awarded to both teams. You don't need that many man advantages, okay? I think it's reasonable to call them at times, but they went overboard. They wanted to be the face of the show. I haven't seen the orange in the back and the black play in so damn long. They finally get on the ice, and here I am watching the referees explain to me who's getting the penalty, what they did. It felt like 25% of the game. I had enough of that garbage. I really did. But I bring that up because the Rangers had some momentum. And what ends up happening, Panarin cranks one off the top of the post on this outstanding one-timer to the left side. Here's Fox on the top of the power play, and he's working the Flyers' penalty kill to make sure he draws them out towards him and slides it over to his left to Artemi Panarin, who put a blistering cannon on Carter Hart. But it was nothing but post. It was nothing but the crossbar, and it shot out, and the Flyers were able to kill off that penalty. But it sure got close. And eventually, the Rangers did cash in the second period to tie the game up 1-1. You also have poor play in the defensive zone, turnover along the wall, a puck thrown on Carter Hart, bad rebound control. Someone's wide open back door. But from the turnover to the bad rebound, what are we doing, fellas? That was a clear problem, and it's a problem that we see all the time, and that's what irritates me. That is a part of the common theme that we talk about when we see this Flyers team play. That has to be something in the past. But what do I expect when you have Haig and you have Ghost and you have Gustafsson? It's not like Justin Braun being on the COVID-19 list really was that big of a deal in terms of on-ice production. He's just as bad as any of the other guys I named. So realistically, defensively, while they might have been bad at times, they're always bad at times with this unit and with Justin Braun. So I guess you can just chalk that up to, hey, this is kind of who they are. But I was bothered that the Rangers took that 2-1 lead. Here's the beauty thing of it, though. I thought the Flyers fought. I thought they played really hard. Alain Vigneault, after the game, praised the effort level and praised the way that they had intensity, and he reminded everyone, look, I had 1 day to practice with this core. And you do need to factor that in, right? These times are so weird, they're so odd. You have a day. You have a day to practice with the team, and remember, they haven't been on the ice in how long? The environment is just whack, is what it is. I love the fact that late in the game, you pull the goalie, 2 minutes to go or so, and you're cracking into this thing. You are grabbing momentum. You're beating the team to loose pucks. You're working the puck around the offensive zone. I thought 5-on-5, you did have some great play from some of your Flyers lines where they were actually generating some buzz, generating some offense, and it might not show on the stat sheet afterwards because you look at the shots, and once again, I'm going to use the phrase common theme. They have an issue this season when it comes to throwing pucks on net, getting good chances. I thought Kevin Hayes late in the game, he's trying to be cute. He's trying to be too pretty. He's trying to toe drag a defenseman. It gets caught, and what ends up happening? The Rangers go the other way and counter that line rush that was broken up right inside the blue line in the offensive zone. You're down 1. There's very limited amount of time left in this game. If you get a chance to come into the zone and you do have players with you, I mean, the toe drag, it looked like he wanted to take a clap bomb and just walk in and fire one on net. And then late decision, hey, let me try and toe drag and put it through a defenseman's skate. We got to be cleaner. We got to make educated plays. That, not so much. Although, who am I to yell at Kevin Hayes when you look at the stat sheet after? Did have a couple apples. So he was helping generate offense, clearly. But, I didn't like that, and they had problems there. Anyway, Joel Farbaee going to the crease, just scored dirty goals. Both goals tonight, dirty, in areas that aren't sexy. It's no Alexander Ovechkin where he's coming down the left side and he snipes twine. It's no Connor McDavid where he's going end-to-end. It's no Austin Matthews with a quick release. And oh, by the way, it's extremely powerful as well. No, grindy, ugly, boring. Guess what? They all count the same, though. They all count the same. And the fact that you snagged that point late, well, that helps. Because you got to remember, you're playing your division and your division only. So these 2-point games, they're really 4-point games. So if you're able to solidify 1 point at least, it really does help. Not that this Rangers team is going to be in contention or really prove themselves, because I think they are a disaster internally right now. But with that being said, still look at it from a Flyers standpoint. You're a team that had a great record, albeit ugly play, great record, had to be put on pause while other teams are playing, even though this conference did have, or this division did have some problems too. New Jersey had some problems. They're not the only one that had to battle through this type of adversity. You need to get back on the right track. You need to get back on your right foot. And to come in, give a good effort, work your asses off, work your tails off, battle through, snag a point, battle to the very end. It is what it is. They had a really tough situation in overtime. Nolan Patrick takes a penalty. They kill it off. Carter Hart was awesome in this game, by the way. I don't know if I've done my due diligence yet on Carter Hart, because he was making stellar saves. He was great. The first goal, a little bit of a redirection. And, wait, did I say Blackwell was the goal? See, this is why I might have messed up. Blackwell was the redirection goal to tie it 1-1. The turnover and the rebound was Smith. And it was tough for Carter Hart. You got someone in the slot area. You get a redirection. Carter Hart's moving one way. It somewhat goes in the other direction. And there's only so much you can do. I didn't love the rebound control on the second goal. It started with your own team in front of you, though, making a poor mistake along the wall, which even generated that chance from the beginning. But there were so many great times where he came up big. He's stopping breakaways. He's stopping penalty shots. He was sensational. Now, there were issues in the shootout side of things. Kakko had a nice goal. And Panarin, whoa. Talk about filthy. Talk about execution. Talk about efficiency. The fact that Jim Jackson threw a number at you over 60% when it comes to delivering in shootouts, that's not normal. Okay, that's not okay. That's strange. That's unique. Panarin, he just froze him, man. Came in nice and slow and just waited as he was gliding to see what Carter Hart would do. And he just stood there for so long that when Panarin ripped it blocker's side, he was too late. And you could see somewhat of like a twitch as if, damn it, like just because he was frozen. Carter Hart didn't know what to do. But when you have a guy who's that special coming down on you, I didn't realize his numbers were that great from the penalty, or excuse me, not the penalty shot, but from the shootout percentage. That is scary. Sean Couturier sure had a doozy, though. I did one of those, ooh, when it happened. It takes a lot for me to go full out emotion, jump up on the couch. But when Cootsie came in full speed and did a little howdy do and had it on his forehand with so much space to deliver, and he somewhat jumped on the net too because he was coming in with a ton of speed, moving the legs. The Wolves were definitely running fast, and he had to jump up on the top of the crossbar area at the top of the net. But that move was gross. Unfortunately, JVR couldn't score to keep it going. I want to see, though, if JVR can keep it going. JVR was awesome to this point. I hope the break didn't really kill his vibe. And speaking of killing vibes, I hate the fact that Claude Giroux misses his Iron Man streak now because of COVID. It's unfortunate, and at the end of the day, it's not a big deal, but it still sucks. Here's this veteran who's played how many games in a row, who is active for this team. He's always available for this team. You're in the 300s. I mean, that's crazy, the fact that you can play that many games and you're not missing time. And here comes the pandemic, and that ruins everything. Once again, I don't think it's the end of the world. There's so many other issues here, but still sucks, right? I mean, here you go. Now, I brought this up at work, and someone kind of threw back at me. If his wife was going to have a baby, and his baby was being born, and he missed it, is that a similar situation? Where it's unfortunate, but it's life, and life happens, and at the end of the day, you look at it, your son, okay, it's your son or daughter, who cares about the Iron Man streak? Is COVID-19 just a part of life that sucks and nobody wants it to be this way, but Claude Giroux now loses his Iron Man streak? And I guess in theory, I understand the mindset and how he was trying to describe it, but I do find it different with a child and what we're dealing with right now with the safety protocols and the contact tracing and things of that nature. So I do think that there is a different outlook on it as well. And speaking of different outlooks, I can't wait to get to the Anytime Hotline calls right now to hear your reaction on the game. But first, with over 20 years of experience in the solar industry, Orbit Energy and Power is home to your solar experts in residential and commercial projects. Their solar program eliminates your electric bill completely. They offer flexible financing solutions such as $0 down. They also provide water purification systems, backup energy services, battery storage, and more. So check out their information. It is all down below. I already have my earphones in. Okay. The fact that I did not even recognize that is outrageous. Anytime Hotline. Here we go.
Well, this is one of the rare Flyer losses that after the game, you're not really that upset about it. I mean, right now it's the equivalent of going to a gunfight with a pea shooter. I mean, I was honestly surprised the Flyers got the second goal to tie it up. That's a big point that they were able to scrape out of it. Overtime, I mean, all bets are off, but the penalty there kind of killed them. But you knew when it went to the shootout. I mean, look, you're rolling Capo, Kako, and Panarin out there against James Van Riemsdyk, advantage Rangers. I mean, this Flyer team with all these guys out is going to be boring to watch. They're not going to get hardly any wins, if any. They're just going to have to scrape points where they can and hope these guys can come back as soon as possible.
I think that's a great way to put it. Just try and scrape them out. Snag as many points as you can. And it sucks because they have this Lake Tahoe game, and there's a lot of energy surrounding it. And now you have a lot of your players out for it, and you're going up against a Boston Bruins team who you have trouble with even when you are healthy, and you do have your top guys. Now it's going to be even worse, even though I think I saw something about David Krejci. Now I'm curious. I want to see what happened with Krejci. Maybe he got injured? Not that is significant to, I mean, don't get me wrong, it's big. He was out for the remainder of the game against the Devils with a lower body injury. So obviously it's a big loss to have a key player like that out, but does that relate to Giroux, Voracek? No, I don't think that it does. Scraping for as many points as possible throughout this time is exactly how you need to approach this. That is the proper mindset. Just worry about competing hard, fighting hard, everyone staying involved, not losing it mentally. Keep it together. Keep it as one. That will tell me a lot about the culture of this team. And I don't question the culture of this team. It's not like I am concerned about it, but I do think it will describe to me how things are internally. And once again, I expect it to be good. I don't expect this crazy downfall in terms of staying with one another. I just want to see them do it. I think they will, and I want to see that play out. Stay engaged. Stay proper. Stick to the game plan. Stick to the notes. Stick to what you got to do. You know, they're throwing out fourth-round picks from 2017. A kid who played in the OHL for 3 seasons, played a little bit of Lehigh Valley. You ended up getting 5 minutes of play out of him. Sushko. That's the type of talent you have rolling out at the moment. You saw the lines before the game. Somewhat laughable. And it sucks because you finally get to see hockey again. You finally get to see Flyers, and you're now watching a joke of a version. Crazy.
So not only did Carson Wentz get traded today, but we looked at the Flyers losing to a shitty team. Yeah, half their team's gone, but now we know that we're going to have to probably look at some losing hockey for a little while until everyone gets back. Because the Rangers have been sucking. And we got to play the Bruins at Lake Tahoe, and we've seen them play the Bruins 3 times, and we saw what happened. Philly?
I don't like how we have to watch a bad version, because there's nothing worse to me than watching Sixers basketball, and it's bad Sixers, and no Ben Simmons, no Joel Embiid. And I know hockey's different because one guy in basketball, if Joel Embiid's not on the floor, it's crazy different. If Giroux's not on the ice, it's different, and it is crazy different to an extent, but you still see a better product of your team than you do the Sixers without Joel Embiid or Ben Simmons. So it's somewhat similar and it's somewhat different, but I do feel that way when I'm on the couch, when I'm excited. Like the last 5, 6, 7 days or so, I'm watching the Toronto Maple Leafs every chance I can. I'm watching the Calgary Flames. By the way, Austin Matthews is superstar level now. He was always great. He was always fantastic. He was always a young stud. He's now touching superstar material. He's scoring more than one goal in these games, dominating 4-point nights. Ridiculous. Austin Matthews is ridiculous. But watching these teams play, it made me miss the orange and the black. And when they finally show up on my screen, we're laughing at some of the names that we see, and we're satisfied with the loss because you're not able to fully be available. And I don't like it. Moral of the story. I don't like it.
Hey, Brodes. Just watched the Flyers lose in the shootout. What else is new? But I don't even want to talk about the shootout. I don't want to talk about the fact that they got, doubled in shots, like they always have been this year. I want to talk about the Pico Powerplay. The Pico Powerplay that was once feared around the league. Lou Nolan yells, Pico Powerplay, and the fans go nuts. Well, when we watch the Pico Powerplay now, we want to reject the penalty. We want to decline the penalty. We wish it was football. It is embarrassing. If I was the owner of Pico, I would be embarrassed to have my company's name associated with the Powerplay that bad. And I know that they didn't have 6 players. I didn't have Giroux, didn't have Voracek, didn't have Konechny. But it is unacceptable. I can't watch that power play any longer.
I agree with you completely. This power play is embarrassing, and it's unacceptable. Regardless of what guys are missing, it's unacceptable. There's enough talent on this team. If you have a 5-on-4, you should be able to execute more. And you're trying to do too much. And when things get rough, it's so basic. You learn this when you're 4 playing mites. When things get ugly, when things get tough, and when you can't generate a lot of offense, shoot the puck on net and get a screen. Let's go old-fashioned. Take away the goalie's eyes. Get sticks in lanes. All right, put your body in front. Throw shots on net. Pepper the goalie. No matter what angle you're at. Might not be the best angle. Walk the blue line. Walk the blue line and put a low-risk shot. It doesn't need to be this insane clap bomb that's beautiful and just hitting twine, and it's a pure snipe. You saw the 2 goals that happened tonight. Be greasy. Be ugly. Be one way you don't even know what happened. Who did that hit off of? 6 guys? All right, who cares? It's in the back of the net. Make it where we got to search and watch the replay 15 times to see who it hit off of last. I don't care, but get it through. Get it through the lane. Get it through a window. Take away the goalie's eyes and get basic. Throw pucks on net. You saw what happened for the second goal for the Rangers. I almost said Penguins. I don't know why. The Rangers' second goal. What did they do? Threw one on net. Let's just throw one on net. Bad rebound by Carter Hart. Wide open guys are there because of breakdowns defensively. Put the pressure on the other team. There's no way in hell the power play should be this putrid. It really is unacceptable. And now we've seen it for 2 straight years. I thought we were going to get some help by some of these experienced coaches behind the bench. Michelle. There you have it. Thank you guys so much for listening. It's been a while since we got to talk some puck, and it is somewhat refreshing. Huge day for Philadelphia sports, so it is weird focusing on the Flyers when Carson Wentz gets traded, but that's the reality of the situation that we have sitting in front of us. Thank you guys all so much for listening, and I will see you next time.